The Young and the Restless spoilers. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It is a beautiful day to dive into some major soap drama. We have so much to unpack today about our favorite Genoa City residents taking a little road trip. So grab your coffee and let us just get right into the mess. And let me just start by saying that crossovers are usually a mixed bag. Sometimes they work. Sometimes they just feel like a weird promotional stunt. But this Beyond the Gates crossover at Fairmont Crest, honestly, I am kind of here for it. I really am. The writers are sending the biggest hitters from Genoa City down to Atlanta for this massive political fundraiser for Martin Richardson. And when I say biggest hitters, I mean the absolute legends. We are talking about a multi-episode event that is going to pull the Newman and Abbott families right into the orbit of the Fairmont Crest Country Club crowd. It feels like one of those old-school soap events where everyone gets dressed up and someone inevitably causes a massive scene. I have been covering this show for a long time, and I am honestly a bit tired today. My eyes are burning from staring at the screen, but I still care so much about how they handle these characters. So let us break down who is going and what kind of absolute chaos we can expect. So Victor Newman is going to be the keynote speaker. Of course he is. I mean, who else would Martin Richardson want to speak at his political fundraiser? Victor is the guy with the deepest pockets and the biggest ego in any room. Eric Braeden apparently said yes immediately when they asked him to go to Atlanta to film these episodes for BTG. He loves these milestone crossover moments, and honestly, the man deserves his flowers. The BTG cast, like Keith D., Robinson, who plays Ted, and Sean Freeman, who plays Andre, were apparently just in total awe of him. And who can blame them? It is the great Victor Newman, but content-wise, what does this mean for the show? Victor is going to donate a massive amount of money to Martin's campaign. We also found out that Victor has a long-standing relationship with Vernon Dupree, played by Clifton Davis. Apparently, Victor has backed Vernon's political stuff in the past. It makes perfect sense for Victor's character to be pulling political strings in other states. He loves having politicians in his pocket. Victor buys influence. That is just what he does. But I have to wonder if this is going to tie back into his current mess at home. He is currently forcing Matt Clark to live at the ranch to spy on Kane Ashby, totally ignoring Sharon's trauma and gaslighting Nikki about her headaches. So him jetting off to Atlanta to play the big, powerful benefactor while his own house is a toxic disaster zone is just so classic Victor. He can go smile for the cameras and give a keynote speech about leadership while his son Nick is struggling with addiction and his wife is in physical pain. It is wild. But that is Victor. But let us talk about the real reason I am losing my mind over this crossover. Jack and Diane. Oh my God. You guys, Peter Bergman and Susan Walters, are taking the Abbotts to this party, and the behind-the-scenes quotes are just too good. Peter said he responded so fast when they asked him to do it, he even joked he would do it for free. I love that. He cares so much about Jack. And Susan said she was a little nervous at first, but knew some of the crew because she grew up near the studio. But here is the kicker. Here is the part that made me literally scream at my laptop. Diane is going to be eyeing some handsome men at Fairmont Crest. What were they thinking? Actually, no. I know exactly what they were thinking. Who actually believes this marriage is going to end well right now? Nobody. Because let us zoom out and look at the bigger pattern here. Jack and Diane's marriage is currently hanging by a single fraying thread. A few episodes ago, we saw Diane totally spiraling because Jack has been an absolute mess. Jack slept with Patty Williams on a boat. Patty, the woman who poisoned Summer, and Jack thought he could manipulate Patty to get back at Victor, which is the dumbest plan I have ever heard. And then Diane caught Jack and Nikki in a compromising position. So Diane is furious. She is betrayed, and now she is going to a fancy country club party in Atlanta, surrounded by rich, handsome, powerful men. Oh, Jack is going to sweat. Jack is going to lose his mind. Diane is probably going to flirt with someone right in front of him just to twist the knife. And honestly, I am kind of rooting for her to do it. Maybe I am being too harsh on Jack. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. He brought this on himself. And just picture this: Victor and Jack in the same room at Fairmont Crest. They are mortal enemies. They hate each other. Victor's up there giving the keynote speech, acting like the king of the world, and Jack is sitting in the audience watching his wife check out other guys. It is just going to be a disaster in the best way possible. I feel like Jack is going to snap. He is already so paranoid about Diane leaving him, and Patty Williams is still lurking around Genoa City claiming she had nothing to do with Diane's recent disappearance. The stress on Jack is immense. So putting him in a high society setting where he has to pretend everything is fine while Victor gloats, it is a recipe for a classic Jack Abbott meltdown. I just hope he doesn't throw a chair or something. Actually, I do hope he throws a chair. We need some action. So then we have the younger crowd, and Michael Mueller is going to be there as Kyle Abbott. He said Kyle plays a pivotal role in the crossover along with Haley. I am really curious to see what Kyle is actually doing down there. Is he trying to secure some business for Jabot? Is he just there to babysit his parents and make sure they don't get a divorce in the middle of the country club? Kyle has been kind of floating lately, so giving him a solid business or political networking plot at Fairmont Crest could be really good for him. I just want Kyle to do something interesting. Sometimes the writers just use him as a prop for Jack and Diane's drama, so hopefully this BTG crossover gives him his own moment to shine. And we can't forget about Devon. Broughton James is bringing Devon Winters back to Fairmont Crest. He visited there earlier this year, so this is a return trip. And let's be real, Devon desperately needs a vacation. A few episodes ago, he was dealing with the massive emotional fallout with Mariah and Abby. He filed that petition about Mariah's mental health facility, Stay Without Telling Abby, and Abby ripped into him. Plus, he is dealing with Lily and Kane and the whole Chancellor Winters corporate nightmare. The man is stressed. He needs a drink at a country club. Getting Devon out of Genoa City for a few days is exactly what the character needs. Just let him network, wear a nice suit, and not think about kidnapped babies or corporate blackmail for like 5 minutes. Is that too much to ask? Probably. He will probably get a frantic phone call from Lily right in the middle of the party. But one of the most fun little meta moments about this whole crossover is Carla Mosley. She is playing Danny Dupree on Beyond the Gates. But we all know her from when she briefly stepped in to play Amanda Sinclair on Y&R when Michelle Morgan was out. So she already knows the Y&R cast. She said she was so surprised and happy to see everyone again. I love little casting quirks like that. It makes the soap world feel so small and connected. I wonder if Devon is going to look at Danny Dupree and do a double take. They probably won't make that joke. They take themselves too seriously for that. But we will all be thinking it. The fans on social media are definitely going to be making those jokes all week long. I mean, I mean, just think about how much pressure is on these crossover episodes. They have to satisfy the Y&R fans who have been watching for decades, and they have to introduce these characters to the BTG audience in a way that makes sense. Victor has to be imposing, Jack has to be charming but stressed, Diane has to be elegant but scheming. It is a delicate balance. And with the current storylines back in Genoa City being so dark and heavy like Nick's drug addiction, Matt Clark holding people hostage this Fairmont Crest trip might actually be a nice breather. A glamorous, soapy breather. We need the rich people behaving badly in tuxedos back. That is the core of what makes this show fun. So, yeah, I am tired, I am rambling, but I am genuinely excited. I want to see Martin Richardson's fundraiser go completely off the rails. I want to see Victor write a giant check and then insult someone. I want to see Diane sip champagne and flirt with a senator while Jack grinds his teeth into dust. This is the good stuff. This is why we watch. I just hope the writers actually deliver on the promise of all this drama and don't just have them stand around talking about nothing. Give us the messy looks. Give us the tension. Please, we deserve it. After sitting through some of these recent storylines. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for the BTG crossover? Do you think Diane is actually going to cheat on Jack? Let's discuss.